At the beginning of this story, we are introduced to a medical student named Mary Mason. Mary was a very bright student, but being alone in such a big city, he was facing a lot of difficulties in paying his college fees. Her professor, whose name was Dr. Grant, would scold Mary for not paying attention in class. Mary would often settle the matter by apologizing to him, but Dr. Grant believed that sorry was a big word for a surgeon, and he should never use it unnecessarily. He says that there is no room for error in this profession, and that next time don't bring your phone to my class. The financial crunch and the calls from the loan department had made Mary's life miserable. That poor girl did not even have money to buy ration for the next week, let alone pay the fees. When Mary arrived home, she found out that the telephone service people had disconnected his phone line due to non-payment of the bill, and soon the electricity in her house was going to be cut off too. Mary had only one way left to earn money. She had been trying to avoid him for a long time. But who can avert destiny? Mary applies for a job as a bar girl on an adult website. This bar made the girls do a lot of work, but Mary wanted to earn money by showing her body and not by selling her soul. That's why she only applies for jobs where no one touches her body after mailing a man. He is called for an interview. Here Mary meets a man named Billy Barker, and this man used to transact money with the girls. Billy discovers that Mary is studying to be a doctor, and she wants to do this work to cover her living expenses and college fees. Billy wants to see if she is fat inside, so he asks her to take off her clothes. Mary is perfect for the job, so he hires her. While he was questioning him, Billy's man tells him something like this. Hearing this, the cat becomes very upset and asks Mary, "You are a doctor. How much knowledge do you have about human surgery?" Mary tells him that yes, she knows a lot about it, but she hasn't got her degree yet. Hearing this, Billy takes him with him to the basement and tells him that there is a man of ours who is slightly injured. "I'll give you $5,000 if you fix it." Mary was here to make $1,000 a week, but she was getting paid $5,000 a night, so she couldn't refuse. She says yes to him, and we see Billy's goons beating a man to death, and he had to save the life of this man. That man was writhing in pain. Mary saves his life by cleaning up his blood and giving him a leg bandage. But after that, she locks herself in the room and cries loudly. She can't believe that there are so many ruthless people in this world, that they can beat someone to such an extent. Her first meeting with him was nothing short of a shock, and out of fear, she sleeps in her own home with a baseball bat in her hand. Mary receives a call on her phone from an unknown number. There was a girl on the phone who said her name was Beatrice and she wanted to meet Mary. But Mary disconnects the call, saying it is the wrong number, and after a while, someone rings the doorbell of her house. Mary was not looking at the door, and as soon as she turned back, she saw that a girl was standing in front of him. It was the same girl, Beatrice, with whom Mary had talked on the phone a while ago. Used to work at Billy's club, but she did not come to Mary for that work. She says, "I need your help. I heard you're a doctor." Mary thought she could get herself treated cheaply, but it was not like that. Beatrice had a lot of money to afford the best doctor. She pays Mary $200 just to listen to her. She says, "There is a girl who needs to get special surgery, and I will give you $100 for that." Mary wanted to know what surgery was the only one she could perform, and he is not the greatest doctor in the world. But Beatrice wanted him to come and see for himself once, and she pays him $2,000 just to go with her. Mary finds out he had to remove the genetics of a girl with the help of surgery. This girl's name is Ruby, and her dream was to become a walking human doll. She underwent many surgeries to become a doll, and most of them were successful. Now, since a doll doesn't have private parts, she wanted to get her genetics removed too. Mary can't believe that such people exist in this world. Although she was ready to do surgery on her, Mary would operate on her private parts and make her look like a doll. Now she did not look like a girl from any angle. Her body was completely clean. Mary gave Beatrice some medicine and told her that you should not tell my name and my information to any of your other friends. Our conversation ended here only. Saying just this, she takes her money and leaves from there. She had earned much more money than she needed in the last 2 days. And now she was very happy and had no worries at all. That's why she was participating in the classes with great enthusiasm. Dr. Walsh was very happy with her work and was sure that she would become a good doctor in the future. When Mary goes out of the hospital during college break, we see that Beatrice is waiting for him outside. Mary says, "I told you not to meet me, and how did you get my address?" Beatrice didn't want anything from him. She had just come to give him a gift that Ruby had asked her to give. She says, "Ruby thanked you for the surgery. She wants you to visit her website once and see the beauty of her surgery." On the other side, we see Dr. Grant and Dr. Walsh, who were talking to each other about Mary. The doctor tells Walsh that we are having a small party at Grant's house tonight. We want you to be a part of our celebration too. Mary says yes to them, after which Dr. Walsh tells her the address of Grant's house. In the evening, Mary opens the website mentioned by Beatrice. So there he gets to see some photos of Ruby post-surgery. She had undergone cosmetic surgery for the first time and saw the results. She was feeling very proud of herself, but as she went down a little more, we saw that a lot of people had posted photos of their body modifications there. She looked horrible. She did not know that people in the world are so insecure about their bodies that he can get even such a dangerous surgery done without any fear. After this, she goes to Dr. Grant's party, where many people have come, and Mary comes to know that this party was not just for doctors. People of all kinds came here. Dr. Grant starts talking to Mary. At first, he just talks about her college. But gradually, he starts asking her personal questions. He had mixed a sedative in Mary's drink, due to which she loses her consciousness. Dr. Grant takes her to his room, and she is raped that night. He was also making a video of Mary to blackmail her later. When Mary regains consciousness the next morning, she remembers nothing of the previous night, but she knows that Dr. Grant had raped her. She comes to her home and starts crying loudly. Mary wants to take revenge on Grant, so she goes to Billy at his request. Billy kidnaps Dr. Grant from his house and hands him over to Mary. Dr. Grant never imagined that he would have to see this day because of his actions, and what was about to happen to him was even more horrific. Mary was going to do every kind of surgery on her body that was possible on the human body, and this is how he took his revenge from Dr. Grant. A few days later, a detective comes to meet him. He had to ask him some questions regarding the disappearance of Dr. Grant. The detective had come to him because Dr. Walsh had given him a list of some girls. Mary's name was also included in that list. The detective tells her, "What we found out about Dr. Grant's exclusive sexual nature, did they do something like this to you too?" But Mary denies any such behavior by Dr. Grant and says that he was a very good man. Hearing this, the detective leaves from there, but still, he doubts his word. Somewhere after this, Mary goes to meet Billy and asks him, "You have some work for me. Someone needs surgery or someone needs stitches," but Billy tells him that now we have stopped beating people like this, that he might need stitches. Billy had changed a lot, and he probably started to like Mary. Mary tells him about the policeman and Dr. Walsh. Billy is willing to kill Dr. Walsh for her, but Mary forbids him from doing so, because she wasn't sure Dr. Walsh was a bad guy and whether she knew about Dr. Grant's evil intentions that night or not. Mary and Beatrice became very good friends, and Mary went to meet Ruby. She wanted to see how Ruby looked after her surgery, but Ruby went out for some work. Mary saw Ruby's husband's photo there and found out that Ruby was cheating on her husband. Mary had become very famous among some people because of her surgeries. People started to know her as Bloody Mary. He used to get strange modifications done to his body. Some wanted their tongues cut and some wanted brace implants. One day, two twin sisters come to meet Mary. These sisters believe that their bodies may be separate, but their souls are connected. She wanted Mary to exchange her right hand with their bodies, so that their bodies could be joined together. She gives Mary a drawing and asks her to make both of our bodies like this drawing. At this point, Mary never said no to anyone. She would give whatever anyone wanted. No matter how impossible the surgery is, she could not do this alone, even if it meant her death. So she takes the help of another doctor, and this impossible surgery is performed. On the other hand, we see that Mary had kept Dr. Grant alive till now. That was useful to her because she wanted to show the world that this anonymous person behind the name, she can perform any surgery that seems impossible. She even stitched Grandma's mouth. His hands and legs were chopped off, and he was hung from a hook while Mary was taking pictures. A security guard attacked her. Mary didn't understand where he came from, but whoever he was, she couldn't stand seeing Dr. Grant in this condition, and he tries to save her, but in the meantime, Mary attacks him. And that poor man is also killed. Mary also kills Dr. Grant in the process. And this way she became a complete psychopath. After erasing all the evidence, Mary goes to her home. He gets a lot of money for the two girls he operated on. Mary's client base kept growing, and she became a well-known name in the world of illegal surgeries. Detective Mary wants to talk to him about Dr. Grant, and he comes to her house and tells her Mary is shocked to learn that, like Dr. Grant, Dr. Walsh has also disappeared. Because he had not done anything to Dr. Walsh, the detective also found out that both of them used to call girls to parties and do bad things with them. He also found tape recordings he had made. He knew that they had done something wrong to Mary too, but if Mary had told them the truth, the suspicion of making them both disappear fell directly on her. And that is why she pretends to be unaware even though she knows everything. Next, we are told that Dr. Walsh was kidnapped by Billy. He also has a tape recording of Mary, which makes him very angry, and he kills Dr. Walsh. And on the other side, we see Ruby's husband. He looked very happy today, but when he learns that Ruby has had her genitals removed through surgery, he goes mad with rage. Mary goes to meet Billy and finds Billy getting intimate with another girl, and he gets very jealous seeing this, which shows that maybe she too had started liking him somewhere. Mary asks him about Dr. Wells, but Billy lies to her, saying that he has nothing to do with her disappearance. Why would I kill him for you? Mary knew he was lying, and he did not like people who lied. Meanwhile, Mary's eyes fall on that girl. The one who was getting physical with Billy follows him to the bathroom, and she takes out all the equipment for her surgery. The girl was watching her doing this while hiding behind the gate, and she understands that she has come to kill her, and Mary attacks the boy. But then she notices the CCTV camera installed in the bathroom, which she does not want, so that his murders are caught on CCTV. She gives him a warning and spares his life. The next day, Mary goes to meet Billy again, but this time Billy is avoiding her gaze. Billy becomes afraid of Mary because of her increasingly psychopathic traits. Mary learns that Beatrice has left work and hasn't been returning Billy's phone calls for a while. When she comes home, she gets a call from Beatrice. We see that Ruby's husband beat Bedes very badly, and he was after the lives of those people who brainwashed his wife for this type of surgery. Beatrice called to warn him, but unfortunately, it was too late by then. We see that Ruby's husband attacks Mary and injures her badly. A fight breaks out between them, and Mary kills him, but she is badly hurt, and she tries to get access to medicines to stitch her wounds, but he has lost a lot of blood. The next morning, we see lots of police and ambulances outside his house. The detective finds a lot of evidence in Mary's house, which proves that Mary was behind the murder of Dr. Grand. On the other hand, we see Mary, who struggled hard to keep herself alive throughout the night, but he died while trying to heal his wounds. With this, the movie ends here.